think I fell in love with my wife at first sight. When I saw her, she was on a date with somebody and I was on a date with somebody. And when we saw each other, we was on a date with each other after that. We never even went back to check on the people who we was with. We just sat and spoke for about an hour.
That was so rude. I feel so bad, but I couldn't help it.
And we had our own date.
He talked with me the whole night.
We were standing right about here.
That was the moment. That was when I felt fire and desire.
She was so beautiful to me in all aspects. Like, she looked good, she was funny, she was smart, she was sweet. Like, I was just into her. I used to call her my little African queen.
When you're a young man, you're just nuts, I mean, so to speak, but you are. I mean, it's like you're just driven. You just got a hunger, you want to touch, feel, you want to grab, you want to be in love, you want to have sex all the time.
In my teens and 20s, all I wanted was that high, the sort of cocaine of love.
I miss her when she's not at the house. I'll call her on her cell phone. Where are you? I just want to hear the voice. You know, this is my life for 28 years.
Yeah, I live for romantic love. I live too much for it. Working on my love addiction.
If social relationships are the key to our survival, then the most essential relationship is the one that perpetuates our species, romantic love. We meet, we flirt, we date, we may even get married. And that's when we find that falling in love is easy, but staying in love takes work.
It was Sunday at the village underground.
Stop it.
Phil and Monica have been married for 5 years, and they're trying to figure out how to turn passion into partnership.
Then I told her I was gonna marry you, and then we ended up getting married too, like I said. Then we had a lot of kids because we're married, and that's what married people do.
'Cause you know I love you.
That was hot.
I love you.
Love you too.
The honeymoon period was the first year for me and Phil. Oh, wow, the second going into third, oh my gosh, I was really stressed out. But I knew what I wanted and I knew my capabilities. I was ready, willing, and able to take care of my children. That's not hard to me. The hardest part, honestly, is me and my husband.
Sometimes I just want her to myself, and I can't have her to myself. Because we gotta do the kids, you know. And sometimes we don't get to spend as much time with each other as we want to.
The evidence is quite clear that people who do have children are less satisfied in their relationship than people who don't have children. At the same time, there is evidence that people who have children are more likely to stay married. So children have this paradoxical effect whereby it decreases the level of satisfaction within a relationship, but it increases the stability within a relationship.
You strike up that defensive attitude in me.
Monica, ask 3 people that know me. Am I a defensive person or a receptive person?
You're not receptive with me.
Because you're too critical, that's why.
No, I am not. He says that I don't understand. I don't think he understands. So we are 2 people who don't understand. I'm blunt and I'm sure of myself. So when I speak,
yeah, but you don't have to always be like that.
That's
with
me as my.
Relax sometimes.
What you mean?
Like when you, like sometimes, yo, you want to know what I do? When you call me, if I have food in my mouth, I spit it out to talk to you, because I know you're gonna be mad that I'm eating. Wait. When it comes down to the heated battle, we don't communicate at all. The communication dies. You know, busy syndrome.
Why does any relationship succeed or fail? One is communication. How well are people able to convey that they value their partner? Second issue is stress. How much stress are you under? Even the very best couples who communicate really well, when there's no stress around, they're going to falter when the husband loses a job, when the wife's mother moves in with them.
My theory is that happy marriages are made of a curious combination of lust and laughter and loyalty. They usually go in that direction. They run out of lust and eventually out of laughter, and they become simply packs of loyalty at a certain point. And when that happens, they're endangered.
I think the rubber really hits the road with love when things get difficult. So a lot of people jump ship at the first sign of conflict, at the first sign of power struggle. They're gone.
It's not enough that you just have a sort of decent relationship with this person. He also has to be your best friend. He also has to be your only romantic partner. He also has to be somebody who inspires you every day. He has to be somebody who's going to help your career. He has to be somebody who co-parents with you. He has to be meet you on 25 different levels of intersection. And it's just this giant sack of expectation that we've piled onto the sort of wobbly head of this old institution that was never necessarily about that in the past.
Much of Philip and Monica's stress comes from Phil's job as a freelance record producer.
That's the original beat that Jano was rapping over?
Yeah. I know sometimes he has to spend a lot of nights at the studio, whether it's producing or engineering. I know that's part of his job. That's what feed us.
I don't even want to hear it. I'm going to just freestyle off what he doing. Huh? Music means everything to me. But sometimes I just don't want to be here doing this at all, period. Not even for the money. I got 4 kids and a wife at home. Sometimes it's just necessary for me to be there, and it creates a lot of stress, but I deal with it though, No battle is won easy,
4 years after getting married, about 10% are as happy as when they first got married. 90% are not. 20, 30 years later, it continues to go down.
I personally believe that the key question about human intimacy that matters is, why do intimate relationships change? How is it that they change? Why is it that we start in a relationship with such high hopes and expectations and have those expectations dashed so frequently?
Psychologist Tom Bradbury is trying to understand how relationships grow and change by studying more than 100 newlywed couples who report to his laboratory every 6 months for observation.
We focus a great deal in my laboratory on couples' conversations, on videotaping couples talking to one another, observing them for 10 or 20 minutes as they try to resolve a major disagreement within their relationship.
You just go immediately and say, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. When you tell me your ideas, I listen and try to think about.
I don't know if that's always the case, but probably
marital interaction is, and couple interaction more generally, is remarkably emotional in nature.
Don't just attack me like that.
Okay.
Happy couples disagree all the time. They say things that aren't very nice a lot, but when they say it, they don't say it with a strong negative tone. They are able to pull back on the emotional quality of their critical statements. Relationships revolve around this experience of, am I being understood? Am I being validated and cared for? If couples are able to convey to one another that they understand one another, that they're engaged, that they care about what their partner has to say, that they can even laugh about it and express affection even when they're talking about a problem, well, that turns out to be one of the most powerful indicators that a couple is going to be able to maintain their relationship and keep it strong.